Uh, okay, so good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself. This is Screen Vision. We are coming to you live from the beautiful city of Kigali, Rwanda, here in East Africa. And today is the 7th of June 7th. The month of June is going gradually, and today is the 7th. We want to say happy pre-birthday to all those who were born in June. We want to say happy birthday to you, and we wish you all the best in your new age. So we just want to encourage you to share our show as we were with the rest of the guys. To Yeah, so whatever you are watching, we want to say welcome to Screen Vision. We ask you to share our show. There are a lot of interesting things been happening over the week, and we're going to throw some light on those things and share our own perspective, how we see them. And we also ask you to do the same in the comment section. You can share your own ideas on or your opinion on some of these trending issues that we're going to discuss today. So wherever you find yourself, we want to say welcome and we want to say thanks for always joining us. This is what we do here on the regular Sunday show on Screen Vision. And we want to say good evening to the entire Liberian community here in Rwanda. Those who from Liberia studying here in Rwanda, I want to say good evening to you. And our people back home from Liberia, we want to say good evening as well. Our followers from the US, from Canada, I want to say greetings to every one of you. Together we all can make this platform is better one because it is because of you we are here. If you are not following, we won't be here. So thanks for always commenting, you know, uh, sharing your own opinion on some of this training issue we're going to be discussing. So over the week, I've been following a pastor, a pastor or bishop from Nigeria, who a lot of things to say about Liberia, how the country, the president is confused, stuff like that. Uh, and a lot of people were carrying the pastor statement on their various platform, discussing concerning what the pastor said. I show you guys may have come across that post. The pastor is from Nigeria, and on the other side he have a connection with I think I get my colleagues in the back, Sylvester Blessing JJ. Let me try to bring him on. Yeah. So according to information, he has some connection with former President Weah. So there are a lot of controversial when it comes to his statement. Liberian people are saying that, why you can't prophesy on your own country and you want to shape this thing on Liberia, how the government is confused, there's going to be a confusion, all other things the pastor says. And for me, these are people sometimes that makes other groups like the Muslims, or the pagans to criticize Christianity, because pastor will just come out, some of these men of God just come out and say some things that they know that I don't know where they can really take it from, whether that God spoke to you on that, and he just got start to say a whole lot of things that is not good, negative things about our country. Do you know what war is? You tasted war, you are now a child. You tasted war. We all fear the heat of war in our country. Do you think we want that to be repeated? The modern history where everybody fighting to progress. And okay, so we're going to talk more of that. Let me welcome my comrade, Sylvester. Welcome. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Bara, and good evening, good morning, good afternoon to our viewers wherever they are. Again, I'm happy to be here to discuss issue pertaining to countries and as well as our growth and development as an institution. And happy Father's Day to all men who are fathers.
Sure, men who are fathers, not we are not talking about those men who going to uh, uh, those irresponsible men. I mean, you give a lady Ballah in our common Liberian saying, or you pregnant a lady and you doesn't have time to support her, or you got a kid by a female, you doesn't have time, you just abandon the family only because maybe she too high here. I told her I want to take the child, she said no. And some people deliberately refuse to support their own kids. So when we're saying Happy Father Day, we are not talking about those irresponsible men who don't want to support their children. And at the end of the day, these are kids that are going to probably, if care is not taken, these are people that are going to enter the streets, and be terrorizing other people's homes. And they say one person is not safe, it means the entire country is not safe. So you can you if you have a kid, I mean, you have to take care of that child. Am I right, Sylvester? Not just a happy Father Day to everybody in totality, but those responsible fathers who are bearing the full responsibility of their children.
Yes, you're 100% right. Sure.
Yeah. So before you could come out talking something about the man of God. Though you say you don't like to talk in religion, something like that. But I think during the weekend I came across a post from I think he's a bishop from Nigeria. Say a whole lot of things how he was about prophesying that our country lives, the government confused, they're going to be all days, that, a whole lot of negative things to say about our country over the weekend. And there are a lot of people being carrying their own various platform, discussing in their own way how they see it. Some were even going back at him, saying some negative things because you cannot just open a camera and discussing your whole country like you're talking about individual. And like I mentioned, we don't want war. I mean, the entire world now, everybody, we tired with this fighting because it destroys a lot of things. And so everyone want the country to be kind of a peaceful, that the citizen going to enjoy, going to contribute to nation building, not to come back again to fight war, start to destroy all those infrastructure that have been built over the years. And to see a man of God making such a remarks in the church, I don't think it sounds good for our country. So there are a lot of people been talking. So what's your take on that? Though you say you don't like to talk about it, but I
Yeah,
think
you
you
know,
give me
for me, I don't
background.
really like to really put myself involved in get involved with this religious and situation where pastor going against somebody or the church member provoking pastor. But I think the statement made by the man of God was not thoroughly thought about, and I don't know whether he did it out of maybe he was trying to comfort up to person pleasing to the former president, but the statement was totally out of order to have used God's puppet to send out that caveat in a political, from a political perspective. I don't think that's a good thing because prior to the election or even during the election, the Liberian people themselves overwhelmingly, despite the margin was somehow small, but the Liberian people overwhelmingly attended the electoral process and decided to vote Joseph Nima Boakai as the president of the Republic of Liberia for the next 6 years, during which time of 2023 electoral year. So the statement made by the man of God was totally out of order, and I think maybe he can go back to his upper room and reconcile with the Holy Spirit that gave him that discernment. And God blesses everyone, and with different gifts. Some have the gift of discernment, some have the gift of prophecy, some have the gift of interpreting dreams, some have the gift of giving. And him being a man of God from another country, I think his thought was to be engaging strategically if he has that revelation and those pitfalls that maybe the government may have during their administration. Maybe he could engage them one way or the other, or pray for the nation, not to be confused, but to use God's pulpit to say the president is confused. That's why the whole country and economy is confused, in which that is a blatant lie, so to speak. that the country is confused. There is progress. How can you say the country is confused in the midst of progress? I mean,
And
it's
that,
totally order. But I want
and
to believe that, the law of faith, that there's a law says to every action there must be equal and opposite reaction. So I want to believe that the how do you call them? The people from the collaborating political party, not collaborate, but those coalition that brought the government to power. I want to believe they were attacking one way or the other. So let him just get on a standby to allow Professor curse on them.
seriously, because when I saw that post, I felt disturbed. I said, "But what is going on?" And these are people who people look at the higher level for decision. You come up, you have congregation, but anyway, it's not really our talking point. We just wanted to throw light on it. So we hope our other colleagues going to join us. And like I said, we have some national or international issues that been trending during the week, of which we're going to discuss some tonight. We have probably like a four the issues, but maybe we're going to also add. All depends the time because they have like a 1 hour plus on this platform. So again, folks, if you are watching, we want to say thanks for joining us. We want you to share our show, and then we ask you to make comments, so that we all can make the show interactive, not just to sit and watch. Make comment, go and read on some of these things we're going to be talking, most especially with the young people. It's good to be informed because if you are not informed, you will not perform. And that's why if you find yourself in certain conversation, your output becomes limited because you are not well informed probably about what is going on within the country. But if you have been reading on some posts like EP have their website, Ministry of Education have their own page. I mean LDA, the executive mansion. So these people send out information on a daily basis concerning the country. So you can also visit some of those platforms and read, and even Screen Vision because we also share some of those information on our platform. So again, we want to say thanks for joining us, and I have Sylvester Blessing JJ here, our regular panelist on Screen Vision. Today we'll also be joined by a new person who just joined the institution, and we're waiting for him to come on. Let me not announce the name. I don't know whether I should do so before he come on, but he's going to be on shortly. Probably in trying to set us on things, and we want to say thanks to him for taking that bold steps, and we also want to encourage some females as well, so we all can have the kind of a balance in our discussion, the gender balance on the platform as well. So again, we want to say thanks for joining us, and let's just try to read out some of the points that we go into, some of the topic that we're going to discuss today. Over the weekend, is that honorable? Is that Bill Tware JJ? Yeah, yeah, honorable Bill Tware. You know, he submitted a bill, seeking to repeal the 2% electoral voters or threshold, and has EU intention to withdraw from the there's I think it should be a support because EU now is raising concern that Liberia should support their own elections to fund their own election. Over the years, Liberia have not been giving those funds on time to the election commission because the election has to do a lot of preparation. So coming in late to submit a budget, it shouldn't be like that. It should be a permanent something that at this time, before this time, there should be this awareness should be done and this other thing should be done. But on the contrary, Liberia is not ready following. So there are a lot of recommendations from the EU that Liberia needs to follow. So also look at that concerning the bill that was submitted by Honorable Bill Tware to the House of Representatives. So that we can have a conversation. And Liberia also signed a contract with uh, uh, a firm, international lobbying firm. This firm is not new because during the CDC government, administration, they also have that kind of a partner, partnership as well. The frameworks with the CDC government, called the Verde Partner Lobbyists. So these people, they are firm that lobbied on behalf of country, when it comes to funds and what have you. But this time around, Liberia are going to pay like 100,000 yearly. Is that monthly? I think it's monthly, not yearly. Monthly. So then CDC, doing CDC regime, CDC said, but we were paying like 90,000. So now why United Party have to raise it to 100,000? So there were now the critics from opposition try to beat on the government. And I don't know whether that so if you summit, if you try to put that whole or amount that we going to pay every month to this identical frame, it means that Liberia are going to be paying around 1 point something, 1.2 million annually. Just imagine, just to a firm, to lobby on behalf of the country. So some people saying that that money is too much. And now, like I said, the CDC government, CDC administration said, but this identical firm were with us as well, and we were working together. And at that time, we were paying like 90,000. So why this time around it's 100? So we're going to talk about that as well. And we also want you to drop your thought. I mean, your comment on some of these things. I guess you guys, you've been reading them, but we just trying to give our own understanding as it relates to that. And also, we also have some information from Maryland. The Labrador, the National Fire Service, Maryland detachment, the commander there has been complaining over the weekend, saying that the infrastructure, the office there is very deplorable a deplorable condition. It rainfalls of sometimes the entire environment get flooded, water enter all in the office, which is not good, and the lack of equipment as well. Because if you're talking about fighting fire, I mean, those people have to be well trained, be well equipped when it comes to the modern technology, modern equipment that are going to be used to fight the fire. So if you don't have that, I mean, then they're going to cause a lot of chaos within the country, disaster going to occur, because a fire could just take over the entire community, just a single house, and then it just spread in the entire community, only because you don't have the institution is not well equipped. Just imagine your office. And I actually wanted to show the photo of the office. Is I don't know how to even term that office. If you even see the office, just how should I, almost like somebody bleach, and then they have blood hair, wear yellow, blue, all on their faces, that kind of a stuff. I wish we were using the paid version to project this identical office so you could see from Maryland. The office is very bad up. Even if the Miami commander, I will not sit in that office. If I happen to be a commander from Maryland, I won't sit in the office. Maybe I'm going to use my own money to maybe paint the office, do some renovation, try something like that. But I won't sit there. And the Liberian Justice Enforcement Agency as well, they have given a quarterly report on what have been done over the first half of the year. And I even follow I think he's the head from DEA. He spoke of right now in Morovia. Should I say, yeah, let me just limit it to Morovia. There is no standing ghettos in Morovia now, because they have been threatened, they have broken down all those ghettos in Morovia. So probably those guys who are involved in drugs activities, maybe they are just selling it from their homes, or people walking on the road. That's how they have been doing drugs activities now. But there are also been a lot of criticism, critics been discussing it as well. How can you say the entire country right now, for Morovia, you don't see physical structure when it comes to drugs area in that place? And it's not only about the structure. Drugs can be sold when somebody working and other things like that. But I think we should also give the DA a round of applause for what they are doing as well. So Sylvester, these are things that we're going to discuss tonight. We just hope that we have the time to try to absorb everything. So what's your take tonight on the overall discussion, and we can continue with. I saw Isaac Kim just now, but he went back. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Bada. I just communicated with Mr. Darcy, so he's trying to reconnect, and then you can bring him back on live. So for tonight's conversation, I think is balance in terms of we are discussing governance in totality because everything boils down to governance and its delivery.
Yeah.
So once the election issue is not settled properly, the government will not be well constituted to deliver to its people. And when the government has been well constituted, then the service delivery, the financial support to those arms of government to deliver adequate, services to its people is a challenge. So I think the conversation is more balanced, and I'm hoping that we can draw more insight from past news report, and what we have followed, and maybe in our own intuition, and discuss the issue lengthily, and provide, other points to our listeners so that they can further so that they can categorize the conversation as more fascinating.
Yeah, thank you so much, JJ, and once again, okay, Isaac is on. What is going on? See, Isaac, you know the technique you used the other day. Anyway, I think you turn your camera on. So if you're ready, just signal me, and I'm going to bring you on. Yeah. So, folks, we want to say thanks for joining us once more. You listen to our discussion points, things that we're going to talk about tonight. We have our colleagues who just joined the institution, or Isaac. Isaac, we're going to bring Isaac on shortly and going to introduce himself. We're going to start with intro. We're just trying to discuss while waiting for Isaac, and other things. I think, Isaac, if you okay, just give me a thumbs up. Let me bring you on, so we can start the discussion tonight. Let me say good evening to my own bossman Waman Guyan Vator, who is currently in Liberia. Also, okay, I think Isaac is on. Isaac, good evening and welcome to Screen Vision.
Thank you, sir. You people getting me? You hear me well?
Yeah. You are good.
Okay. I think
You
we're
are
good.
good. You are
Okay, let
good.
me say thank you for the opportunity and the medium through which we can be able to discuss some of these national issues occurring home and elsewhere or in the diaspora, whatsoever it may be, so that we can be able to give our one or two on it. So I'm happy to be here, and let me say thank you for keeping the time and all of the work you've been doing. I'm so happy to be here and be part of it.
Sorry, you didn't call your name. You came though I call your name, but I think the
Oh,
viewers
okay.
get it from
I
you.
thought you just did it in a way that it cover up now. But anyway, I'm Isaac Darcy,
Okay.
and I'm here to be part of the show.
Okay, thank you. Maybe Isaac don't want to go further when it comes to introduction. Isaac K. Daxi, and he's our new member. For Screen Vision, you're going to see Isaac on the platform here. As it relate to some of the issues that we're going to be discussing. So whatever you are watching, we want to say thanks for joining Screen Vision and bravo to us because we just have a new member who from the legal background. Isaac have a law degree. Yeah, so sometimes it's good if we are discussing some issue to relate it to law to get our own backing what the law says about some of these things. So maybe as we go on some of these discussion, Isaac going to give his own perspective on that. For me, I did environmental science. Sylvester is an economist. So you see, the entire platform is somehow diverse where people from different backgrounds. So that's good. And Isaac, I think you follow the chat room things that we're going to be discussing tonight.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so that's good. So I want us to talk about firstly. Let's look at the message from the EU. Or look at the bill that was submitted because I think Honorable Bill Try also look at what EU said and he mentioned within that bill. Yeah, that he submitted to the House for. So, Sylvester, let's start with you. What's your take on that bill? Is it timing? Is it okay for now? How realistic you think that bill is? I think we can start the conversation from there.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Bara. I was just thinking maybe to set the tone for that electoral law since we have the lawyer online. Maybe it could be prudent enough to just read that portion of the law to our audience and then we proceed with, our own opinion of the law vis-a-vis with the politicking in the House of Legislature, in the House of Senate.
Oh, okay, okay, that's good. That's
So
good.
if you don't mind, I can just read it brief, or if you have it, then I
Yeah, you
can
can
just.
read it. You can read it. Read it from your end.
So I'm reading from the new amended election law of 2014 that has to do with chapter 5A, review of party results. It says a political party or independent candidate shall be suspended if the candidates nominated in an election for presidency or a seat in the legislature receive insufficient support in the election, thereby resulting into
Mm-hmm.
A. None of the party's candidate is elected, and B. The total of all valid vote cast for the candidate nominated by the party is less than 2% of the total of all valid vote cast for all candidates in the constituencies in which the party contested. The commission shall suspend the party right to nominate candidate for the next two elections for the same office. Two, if an independent candidate has contested an election for president or a seat in the legislature, and in that election, a candidate is not elected, and B, the total of all vote cast for the candidate is less than 2% of the total valid vote for all candidates in the constituency that the candidate contested. The commission shall suspend the candidate's right to be nominated for the next two elections. But here is a caveat. Paragraph 2. Paragraph 5A1 says Paragraph 5A1 does not apply to a political party that at the time of the election had a member continuing to hold office as president or as member of legislature. So, like I usually tell my colleagues, law is common sense, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and it's good enough that we have the the lawyer on, though he's not a practicing lawyer, but he's a lawyer, to better enhance the conversation tonight with regards to legal perspective. But let me first start from the political standpoint, and then I can jump in for the legal side, the at the law aspect. We have seen the proliferation of political parties over
Mm-hmm.
time. You know, we have seen that because the Constitution gave rights to everyone to contest when he or she meets the constitutional requirement for a legislative seat or for presidency, 35, 25, and for both seats.
Mm-hmm.
But what has come to my attention is we have too many people contesting for one seat in the name that they want to solve a problem. So in my mind, I think from a political standpoint, this law is right. It's not like it trying to put aside or close smaller groups. But sometimes some people intentionally know that they will not win the election.
Yeah.
But they will just throw in the towel and just for that name to be known. And at the end of the day, it's another burden in terms of cost on NEC. So how can you know willingly that you will not win this election and you contest an election and you lost? You not even get good 1,000 votes from that constituent. I'm speaking on the aspect of legislature now.
Mm-hmm.
So the presidency, some men they are just they just try their luck. And the more candidate register, the more ballots, no, not ballots, but yeah, also the more registered voter, the more ballot paper printed, or the more candidate register, the more the election budget increase. Because you got to make provision for all of things for all those candidates in terms of logistic for party agent, logistic for candidate, and putting staff and what of you. So I think this law is in the direction of minimizing insignificant candidate so that we deal with the real stuff and we reduce the issue of too much voter and recount because in a constituents, let's assume we get about 30% vote in that 30% contest to hold public office in that constituency, and there's an electoral dispute. Everyone will go to put up claim, and when putting up claim, NEC has to deal with them one at a time. But let's go on the other side for the proliferation of political parties. I think this law is in the direction of, instead of everybody going as individual political party to contest for the presidency, let us now try to rethink to build consensus, because building consensus, though is a political interest, but building consensus, it go hands in hands with national interest and individual interest. What do I mean? Let us assume now we just have four political parties, major political parties that are in the election or the electoral sphere of our country. And all those all small political parties can now decide to rethink which party policy to align with. Either they align with that party policy that they want to go to, or they build their constituents themselves. The law does not absolutely ban them for contesting in the electoral process. But what the law means is, maybe they didn't get it right this time. Take a break 2 year, rebuild yourself, and come back. But other people who see it in that direction and see it as maybe the law trying to favor Unity Party and the CDC, which are the dominant political party. Now, from a legal standpoint, it reduces, what I think is, it reduces the tension with regards to electoral process. It's not about silencing voices. It's not about your voices can be heard through other political parties based on the fact that your political aspiration align with this political party aspiration. You can join them and you can form government of national unity. Two things
Okay.
go. Another
Okay.
way, let me just conclude on this point. Another way, we see that they rerun. If this law is being applicable, one thing you will realize, we will gradually converge to a point in the next 10 to 15 years. We will gradually converge to a point where there will be no rerun in Liberia. Once we have election one time, we have that election one time. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. Indeed, folks, if you are watching, this is Screen Vision. I want to say thanks for joining us. You just listened to Sylvester a view on the bill that was submitted to the House of Senate by Honorable Bill Tware, discuss talking about the election to revisit that law, because there are a lot of political parties that JJ stated. Some people know very well that they won't win, but there's a saying like Brother say, when you contest in the election, when we're only going to get a certain government job, people will come to you. So everybody want to contest, and people also want to build out a CV. So let's join Isaac to give his own opinion on the bill. Is it necessary at this time, or is it not? Or let me leave that. Will come there. Is it necessary at this time? Are you supporting such a bill? Let's hear it from Isaac.
Yeah, yeah, I support the bill. That's
Okay,
why it was not done. It was not done. Let's say something that wasn't done before doesn't mean it cannot be done now.
sure.
Another thing I look at is they just try to set the point, but then his point is from a general perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas he lay it like any layman will understand as far as it is a means of actually minimizing cost, or sometimes boosting the electoral or processes up to help them maybe like acquire one or two. I like the way he put it. But you got also this process he talking about. Is it like it gave everyone the equal right to express themselves to get associated? Does it give everyone the power to associate themselves wherever they want to be or how they want to express themselves? I see it like no, because by right, if for any reason everyone is protected under the Constitution, therefore it means that you have your fundamental right, right to
Sure.
education, right to freedom, right to participation. So you should have all those times, like everything you want to do it. But that portion of the Constitution, specifically the election law, the electoral law that put that clause that talk about once you have tried, how do you know that you're going to win the first time or the second time? You cannot tell. So that part, JJ, I just want to set it straight. But however, it's complete discriminations, and discrimination don't have to be like we don't have to join in a way like we make it look beautiful. No, it is exclusive. That's why we get distinctive, we get inclusive, but then however, it is very very much exclusive. Because if you say I got the fundamental right to participate protected under the Constitution, therefore I should be having the opportunity to try as many as I want to. Because I can tell who determine the future. Nobody determine the future. So I should be having the power to try again and again. Maybe the people will be able to vote me another time. You can't tell. But all of those clauses and things they put in I think Article 5A, like judges mentioned, and I saw it, it should be excluded because it's somehow discriminatory.
But don't you see this thing has we agree everyone has their fundamental right, right? We agreed, and other countries that we usually mention, we have good connection with the US. So most of something like Liberia thing we usually look at the US. You see, in the US they only have two political parties, two groups. Yes. So it means that if you are not for the group, you for the other group. So every other, because one way or the other, all those political parties, those small political parties, one let's look at them, their vision is somehow aligned, in line with other political parties. So why you guys can just come together and then have a political single political party, then for us to open the kind of a buzzer during election, you have more than 20 political parties that are going to apply for this, and individual as well, individual candidate. So when you pour, you sum everything, you're just going probably will get more than 25 or 30. you know don't you think it put a burden on the country, because you are looking at everybody have their rights? So I would do agree. Isaac.
You're right. But then the law does not look at it that way. The law says open the process to everyone. Let everyone have the power to participate. I agree the US system maybe somehow they practice for some time. It's like a customary something that you do over and over and you get adjusted. For us, that's why like you started by saying we actually almost like a baby to the US, and we should be learning from them to
Yeah.
minimize some of these costs and things we have on ground. But do you intend to go into forming a minority and majority group in the country? Those are things you should be asking yourself. Because mind you, if you start to minimize it to the level like it will be like a stormy block in the way of other, creating ethnicity. Maybe people feel like they are being discriminated based on their national. Let's say we are all Liberian, nationality could be involved. But then you got also you look at the issue of how you call it a race. So we don't want to go into that. So, however, it's going to develop gradually as time go by, as more as our minds are getting developed. We keep amending and we keep reviewing our electoral laws. Therefore, we shall get there. But it's not something that just happen, within a twin of an eye. No, it takes time.
And that's
Mr.
why
Ballah, I want to
yeah,
fundamentally
I
disagree
mean,
with
Yeah, you were coming, and that's why he wanted to start now because he's saying it will take time. So we should revisit the electoral law, to put some of these clauses to remove and add some of these things so that we can be, on the balance. We will have you enter the country, the entire country is dirty. For example, so parties, people all over. They even they see your house, they don't even ask you whether they should put the flyer on your house. They just placard all on the house. Anyway, let's go to JJ. JJ, don't you see? Because as it came out from the other past, don't you see this identical bill as violating some people rights? Because people have their own fundamental rights, and
No,
then
I
that
don't.
we in the country.
I don't see it in that manner. What the law
Okay.
says is the protest should be open.
Mm-hmm.
Even as the constitution is being formed, there should be other supporting policy for the implementation of the constitution. And if Mr. Darcy is saying that the new election law is not, especially that clause in the new election law, is not a supportive policy towards the implementation of the constitution, then I fundamentally disagree with him. Here is it. Why it is true that the likes of Gabriel Baker, Mavi, and others fought for the multi-party system. But let us be clear. They fought for the multi-party system honor that 1 century ago of the Chewy party rule, dominance, right? That it was excluding the native from participating in such process. But now that barrier has been broken. Yeah, I said you must mobilize sufficiently to get the threshold. Do you know that when you go register as a candidate, NEC wants you to get certain amount of signature to validate your
Candidacy.
yeah, exactly. So if NEC can do that, that means NEC wants a relevant contestant in the election. Some of those guys they go and gather a signature by any means, somehow, no one knows, but yet they put into the process because of the constitutional backing. But let us be clear, especially with regards to the proliferation of political parties. You will see the emergence of that party maybe around 2028, 2029. Bam! After that election year, that party
Even here
died.
again.
And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I get to wonder or I get to ask myself, you want to hold a national office, a national position to contribute to national development. But I mean, you cannot say election is over, then you close your party door. No, you have to be actively engaged with the constituents, with development, with policy. But we see that those parties, none of such whatsoever. With regards, let us exclude the first five, like the LPP, the GDM, the ANC, or whatsoever, right? Like GDM, that even surpasses ANC during the previous election. Are you seeing that engagement? No.
Uh,
The LPP, are you seeing that engagement? No. I mean, like the party engagement. I'm not talking about a candidate that previously contested. So the thing should be like national development, just well with regards to governance, should revolve around all political parties. But when all political parties close their door, especially those ones that did not meet, that did not get sufficient vote, if they close their door after election, then what's the significance of having them? There should be no need because they are not involved in the community work. And you see their candidate that contest there. Sometimes you see that candidate flip flop to another party or a candidate in national government, and you see that since that candidate is in national government, his mouth is closed, his hands are tied. So the thing is, NEC is not saying we deny you from participation. Since you did not work well, go back to the grassroots. Go back and regroup. Go back and put yourself together and come contest for the next. I think that's a briefing space
No,
for
so
them
so
to
the, if you
okay.
say so, then I'll have to ask you a question. Can I ask you a question?
JJ, you done? Have you concluded? I want you to
no,
conclude then. Answer the question.
let him ask a question. Then I will just
Yeah,
conclude
Isaac,
Yeah,
Isaac,
on
go
I
this
want
ahead.
one.
I want I want him to respond to this question that has to do with the probably the 10% of maybe youth or women, 30%, or whoever that are to be in parliament or reserve seat for them in parliament. So does let's say based on the position given, like avenue created, because they are not performing means you exclude them from the process?
No, you are not getting me
So
right.
it okay,
So
go ahead.
let me tell you how that situation can be addressed. Like I told you, gradually the country will converge to a point where there will be no runoff. So now with the threshold of female in parliament, right? There where now you have dominance in the party. Because the law says if a party does not reach the 2% threshold, he or she should be barred, or sorry, the party should be barred from contesting the next two elections. Another point of the law says if an individual does not reach that 2%, so now if the party reaches 2% and that individual did not reach the 2%, that means the party can represent new candidate. The party can present new candidate, not merit. The
Individual.
party can even present Priscilla to contest for that same constituency.
But the reason I asked is because you said it right, like you just said, but then you were supporting it with the issue of the headquarters being closed, or they are
Of
no longer
course.
making
Haven't you
impact. No,
seen that?
you cannot base it on that. It's likely possible that they may run out of fundings or whatsoever they were using to sustain themselves. More besides, they got 2% already in the election, so
So
they
if you
have to
run out of
regroup
funding,
themselves. But
then if
the
you run out of
process should be
funding, then why must you
Yeah,
recontest?
wait. Let you yeah, go ahead, Dazi.
so some people come to try because the process is open. JJ, it could be you. You come back and then I'll be like you created, or your people saw you being like somebody who can lead. They push you. Now, or you like somehow you never had even anything, but they just put you. You have, you are working it. Does that mean he should refuse the calling of the people? No, he has to go. However, all of those things surround the process that has to do with the circumstances you are leading, surrounding the party door being closed. All of those things are things that happen, but however, they should be given the opportunity. You cannot stop them from being part of the process. That's my
Mr.
point.
Oh,
Ba, Mr.
okay.
Ba, let me just end on this note. Then maybe then Mr.
Yeah,
Darcy can conclude, and then you make your point. Mr. Darcy, you cannot get majority of your people in your constituents that say in your constituency, I mean, that say you are our man, go and represent us. Huh? Then time for election, they don't vote for you. You see the hypocrisy? Yeah? You see that? So you cannot
It happened
allow
in
people to.
reality.
So if the people push you as the mayor of the people, they should support you to not go below that threshold. But you know, in Labrador, we have the tendency of putting new leader up. Then election time, and he see another result. Let me give you an example. Do you know Reverend Seni? There's a guy that contested in 2011 election.
Yeah, I think
Way
it's yeah,
back.
Kennedy Sandy. Something like that.
Yeah, Kennedy Seni. You saw how they put you up, but check his performance. Vanish him up. So how the people point out, check his performance. I can name the list. So the idea, even NDC, deal missing, the people point up, but you saw his performance. So the thing is not to put aside those political party at once. It's not to close them up. But it gives them time for reflection to mobilize sufficient funds to come back to the process. Thank you very much.
Indeed, folks, whether you are watching this screen vision, you've been listening to Sylvester, JJ, Isaac. So, what is your own position? Do you accept the amendment of the election law that say, look, if you contest and you don't have a 2%, or you have 2%, you should wait small. I mean, you can for example, let's look at the presidency. How can somebody contest in the whole country and then even to get 1% is difficult for you? So are you just going there because you feel like going, or you going there to build up your CV so that you can add it and say I contested in the general and presidential election in Liberia? Is that why you going there to do? And these are people at the end of the day, we looking at fundings, my brother. We have a country where even to raise funds is kind of a difficult. We depending on donor support. Now you listen to the EU or one in Liberia that Liberia doesn't support their election on time. they're going to they usually delay, so at the end of the day you don't have proper awareness. The issue about educating the people about the voting process, there's all those things delay, even or the structure. They also spoke of Liberia should increase the polling centers so that more people will have access. But how will Liberia do that because of the funds, limited funds? So we cannot. For me, I think I support that 100%. It's not about and excluding anybody from there or ostracizing anybody from the process. We're just telling you that look, if you not make it, if you don't reach the percent, go back. Go back and talk to your people, but look, you're saying like JJ put it. There's some point I remember Tipote. You see the old man used to be there. We're voting for you, Tibana, Tipote. At the end of the day, you will be surprised to have you go to the police center and then when they announce the result, you just say be like but the amount of people that were behind me, what's going on? Are they ready for me or they were just trying to? So sometimes I think the brain post sometimes they can play fool out of some of those people. They say you won't go and you got small money, let's play football small, already know who we're going for. So let's just go there and then small raise and then get money out of that person. At the end of the day, you go. So we shouldn't be encouraging somebody just eat one money that God is filled and say, I want to contest. Maybe you have certain amount of money in your you get maybe 100,000. You think you can convince the people easily. You start to buy share. You organize football tournament. You see the youth, the whole stadium packed. You say yeah, but then I get the people. People are going to support me. It shouldn't be like that. There are other means in which we can support. Join a political party, support from that end. Now having more than 20, 30 in your small day country, you get more than 20 political parties. For what? And we preaching unity and togetherness. Are you saying that all those political parties, when you just bring everyone on the manifesto, they almost talking the same thing? If you bring a manifesto, you say discuss what we should take you, they will almost say the same thing. So why can you emerge to have a one big party so that you can get more strength than to want to go see that it should be on you like you are the standard bearer of a political party. Yeah, you don't want look at people Medina Cooper who now in the see Medina Cooper. What was her percentage? Medina Cooper. She came. She contested. What happened to her? You see, so these are people now. She understood herself. But at this time, she on different thing now. It's so good that she working in the government. So we don't encourage. For me, that's
What
my
is
own point.
different things you on now?
I think no, she working in the government now. She's now all about. I know she's not thinking about contesting again as a presidential candidate. She's not thinking about contesting. Yeah, I don't want to talk the different things she own, but she own her own thing now. People see her in the country. Yeah. So for me, Isaac, that's my point. We are not saying people shouldn't contest. People will value the country, value people rights. They're just saying that putting some of these things in place to reduce this multi-party people coming from back and forth. Yeah, so that's just my point. So on this other point, I want us to if everyone can take 30 seconds and then just close up on this other point so we can move to the next topic or the next discussion. Yeah, Azzy, let's start with you.
So the idea have been bought. At least we all saying almost like the same thing, but we need that more like reform, and the
Yeah.
reform going to help us. And the reform is not going to be something like was done. Maybe in the absence of the time we never had all those political parties. It got to be agreed upon by all those people, the very political party that are in the process now. And
Mm-hmm.
speaking of the issue of how you call it, the EU with Liberia, a whole lot of stuff surrounding it. It's the same thing we're talking about. They should be having long-term plans to sustain their own domestic electoral processes. So all of those things will happen under the reform process. So therefore, the reform is necessary, but with the parties, agreement. It should not be something that like we doing amendment and then they just focus on a particular part. Then next time you have to come and do another amendment again or create all these things we're talking about. So the idea is not bad, but we need the reform.
Okay. The idea is not bad. We need a reform. Sylvester, let's hear you.
We have been crying for reform from the time Joseph Jigner Rao had the Commonwealth. Is it Commonwealth? Yeah. Got on there and then he had the Commonwealth. We've been crying for reform. But yeah, you say, Mr. Ballah, the reform is here to stay. Political party I agree with that reform of 2014 that they initially signed when they contested 2017, or dissolve the party. The constitution gave them right. You can form party, you can support it, no problem. But on the aspect of funding, there's where we need food reform. And a country that cannot 100% sponsor its election, or at least 80% sponsor its election, is vulnerable to a lot of external shocks.
Yeah,
Because EU will give you money and they tell you how you should spend that money. Now, not your money, that the European taxpayer money. So I
sure.
think, like I was checking the budget, the last time the appropriation made for the the running of the entity as a whole was around 5 million, something like that. But we do not know how the election budget can be like because the entity got separate budget for to run a day-to-day activity and the election budget. But let us be clear that with this reform of setting threshold is another mechanism put in place to reduce budgetary and budget expenditure on the side of of the National Election Commission. But our government should think twice as well to plan ahead that now we are reaching around election year. Let us anticipate how much do we think that it would take to have a next presidential election and let them take something from the side of the budget and be apportioning it there for election period so at least that we can have a smooth and fair election during next 2020 during the next presidential term of election. Thank you very much.
Yeah, because thank you, Jojo. You are right. Because Darcy was saying, like what the EU said, these are things that are causing chaos in the country when it comes to this election process. People not being well educated because of limited funds, and then even though polling station, is very limited. You don't have many in the country. It's very big. You have people have to travel from all the way to the other side only because probably in the whole district you only have maybe 3 or 4 polling centers within that district. Yeah. And one thing the EU also stressed that Liberia sometimes delay to give this funds to the election commission. It shouldn't be like political something. It should be a fixed amount settled somewhere that it should be given before time so that it will give the entity that of time to prepare because the thing is about deciding somebody fit and it has the propensity of causing chaos within the country. So it's not something that you just said one money, people not playing well, and then you go there. That's why sometimes you have people saying, just imagine, normally our election can always be around, I think, rainy season time. You see, to transport the ballot boxes, you know what been happening. To transport ballot boxes, it becomes problem. Because in the down minute, people start rushing, they want to do this, they want to do that, it becomes problem for us. So EU want them that they should try there are almost I don't know more than 20 recommendations that were made from the 2020 election. I think 2022-2020 election EU submitted to the Liberal government that you should try to implement those recommendations so that they can have a perfect election because we are talking about, like I said, playing with somebody faith, and these are things that usually bring problem within the country. If someone feel dissatisfied how the process went, it becomes problem. That's why you see after election people want to go to court and all that stuff like that. So that's just our position on it, and thank you guys for your thought. And these are things that we want to see young people doing within the country to share their opinion on some of these national issues. Because when the people say we are future leader, if you are not informed, how can you lead the future tomorrow? How will you perform because you are not informed on some of these things that are being said within the country? And then let's move to our next discussion now. Uh, Liberal government continue the routine a group a lobbying group that been working with the past government, and this entity is I don't know should I say they're specializing in lobbying, talking on behalf of the country in line with the US, to support a particular country to increase budget, to increase those support that goes to those various countries. Yes, this entity is known for that, and they have been working with Liberia since I think maybe before President Weah time, but I understand it's President Weah time. They were also working with this country. But now during President Weah time, Liberia was paying like uh, So that's 90,000. Am I right, JJ? Yeah, that's the amount Liberia were paying every month because you have to pay. Just imagine somebody say they're going to talk for you. They're going to talk for you to somebody who maybe the person have fun. The person say I'm going to talk on your behalf. So, but you have to pay me. You have to pay me every month. So every month, Liberia have to contribute this so and so amount to the people. Liberia have to contribute this amount to the people, which of course, if you look at it now, critics are saying that during George Weah government, the CDC led government, they were not paying 100K, 100,000. It was not like that. They were paying around 900,000. It was not 100,000. You know. So how can you have a country and then every month you pay so and so amount? So annually you're going to look at the total spending. It's going to be around 1.2 million a year US dollar Liberia going to give to the entity just for lobbying. Don't you think it is what's your take? Don't you think this identical money could be even portion could be used to settle some of our problem within the country than to give that money to a group just to talk on behalf of the country so that they can increase the budget? Let's start with you, JJ or JJ. You
Yeah,
hearing me?
yeah. Thank you, Mr. Bara. I just want to begin firstly by saying this is another form of neo-colonialism mechanism. That yet they say they give us freedom, but they still go after us, and they use our leaders to take back what we generate for ourselves. What do I mean? Why is truth that they say this thing is being practiced as far as international religion is concerned, but I see it as weakening institutional capacity. When you go to the table, two leaders go to the table. Let's not disregard that perception that they are world superpower, they have money to sponsor everybody. But if we keep resonating with that thought, I mean, we will continue to describe ourselves and allow ourselves to be subjected to the classification of World Bank grouping countries as this one that honor develop or developing countries. And what do I mean? You have embassies, you have Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you have ambassadors everywhere. You have built ties with the US. Why do you need lobbying firm to push your agenda? Why should we pay that amount to push our agenda? It should be a clear done deal, my friend. If the US think that they cannot do business with us from an international relation perspective, then let's find another helping hand. Let us discuss trade as two sovereign nations. Let us discuss inter-country support. Those people been in Liberia's over 100 years with Firestone, American company, supported by the American government. They are the only one that get control over mass production of rubber.
Yeah, in the
Or,
country.
or yeah, in the country. We have done so much for them that we have got little. To see our administration subjecting themselves through maybe from Madam Salif that they say that it was this thing that caused the debt relief, it was this thing that caused the other one, it was the one that caused the McCoffey, Hydro, and all those blah 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 blah. But we should ask ourselves, okay, we pay the lobbying firm to advocate for us. Then what's the essence of having ambassadors?
Okay.
So we should rethink now the way appointments are made to those foreign service department of our country. Because if you have the ambassador in America that cannot push point, do you know the essence of having a representation in the country? It should push your country agenda. But paying lobbying for it almost like we purchasing somebody to go beg for us. It's
Sure.
almost like we buying and begging For me, in my mind, I think it makes no sense from an international religion perspective and from an economic standpoint. It makes no sense. 100,000 United States dollars, excluding other meetings, travels, accommodation, it not there. You are committed to pay that money every quarter. So every first quarter, you give 300K remit to that entity account. And I want to strongly believe, because I did research on that entity, those partners in that entity, they have strong relationship with the Republican administration.
Yeah.
So indirectly, they use that connection to extract resources from African nations. If you find if you do your research thoroughly, those countries that are involved with those agencies, they are mostly African nations. Isn't that
Yeah.
the same form of neo-colonialism mechanism? It is.
Okay.
It is. So I think the amount we're using to spend on lobbying firm, we should employ or we should appoint a diplomat, see, well-seasoned diplomat who knows how to navigate their way through in those systems. People, maybe some people that may have lived in those countries, understand the political system, or if possible, train our ambassadors. You need to set the country has a set agenda. The foreign policy, we have a set foreign policy that this is what you are appointed as ambassador. You must try your best as possible to maneuver around those policies and see whether Liberia can gain something with our relation with our partners. So I
Okay.
think
Thank
I
you.
think that contract, despite being from the establishment, but I think that
We will we will come back to you. Thank you.
it's
Thank
not
you.
good. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank
No,
you,
but
JJ.
Bala, I think my man is laying the basis to. I just want to keep listening to him. I think he's
No,
right
no,
somehow.
yeah. So what's your own take? These people are saying, but they maybe these ambassadors you're talking about, they don't have the connection. They don't have that kind of a
Then
lobbyistic,
why then why
argument.
appoint them?
You
Then
know
why
that
appoint
they
them?
go. So that's how they've been using. They say, okay, let just hire a separate firm that going to push our agenda internationally to be talking, with maybe President Trump or all the big guys within the US or to support us. Yeah, you know. And let look at, yeah. I think you can come up. What's your
Yeah, let me
take
say
on
some. Let me say something small on it. I
yeah.
like the way JJ said it. He says it's a new form of I know colonialism, something right. So
Mm-hmm.
they give it to you and find a new strategy design how to get it back from you. But
Yeah.
let's take few things into considerations. If for any reason we are hiring brokers or whatsoever law firm or whosoever to run these errands for us, and looking at let's say the institution in question linked with the Republican, then I think there should be no need of having the foreign minister or this diplomatic star. It shouldn't be. Because once, for example, let's strongly look at America and Liberia. It should not just be like any other country, but America and Liberia. It should not be. We should not be paying such amount. But then let's take another thing into consideration that has to do with the amount. Because when you hire somebody, you got to pay them too. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's like they are doing work for you, so you got to pay them for their service. So the amount in question from President Weah time, the 90,000 to now, or the old man time, where we have to pay 100,000. Let's take into consideration like during Weah time, how had this deal benefited us, and what we hope to see in the new partnership they carry on. Because I heard this institution have been let's say have been around for some time. So all of
Yeah.
those things we should look at them too as well. We have to look at them too as well and see the income is going to generate for us, or how, because that money alone, that amount, that 100,000, if you calculate it like JJ said, and you really look at it like 1 point something, it could go to something else that will benefit the ordinary people.
1.2 million annually.
Yeah, that's something that could go to either the less fortunate or anybody in the country or any group institution in the country that can build them up, more especially the youth. You see, so those are things we need to look at. And the key issue, like JJ put it, I think we need to look at this deal keenly, what the deal is going to bring to us. And if for any reason we're hiring brokers, then why should we get ambassador? That's my take.
uh, why should we get ambassador? And those ambassadors are there to connect with the country and our country. So every ambassador in your specific country, you are almost like serving as a president, or you are the mediator between your country and the other country. You are there representing your country to speak on your country behalf. But then why it is that Liberia and have want to hire another firm, or they already working with a firm that they pay that amount of money, you know, just to go and lobby on our behalf. So what's the I guarantee it is that yes, the people go out there, they're going to bring so and so money to us. Are you saying during the contract you're going to sign, say, oh, we're giving you this amount of money? If you fail to bring so and so amount of money to it, means we're not continue, or we're not giving you your total amount, or you just sign a contract because you, and you know, like you said, JJ, these people are very smart. If you take a good look at all these projects, international projects, whether EU projects, they from the US and other things, they usually send those people they call experts. They usually send them. And do you know how much those people make? Some of them, if you look at those people's salary, if you just deduct some of those people's salary from the actual money they send to us, they almost like portion all the money, quarter of the money is already going back to them. Because they hire, they say they bring expert to monitor. They give him one expert, sometimes I don't know how much 100,000. Sometimes they bring their consultant. That's what it does. At the end of the day, we just find ourselves in, yeah, EU gave 100,000, 100 million to the country, but EU brought more than 15 experts to just supervise that one project. At the end of the day, all the experts we pay them. What becomes of all in the country? And you have people within the country that can also do similar work. But I just smart with us say, we'll give you our money, we'll go back for it, we'll take it and bring it back to our country. Let's bring it. So for me, I don't know whether those who take international relations, whether it's actually, I mean, beneficial to a country to have the ambassador, you have the foreign ministers within the country, you have ambassador in another country, and then you hire extra firm on the side to go talk for you on in the international space to get our support. Who does that? And look at the amount of money you're going to spend. And you are talking about development, you still asking other country for money. So to me, I don't see it necessarily like the way in which JJ put it. So, folks, if you are watching, you can drop your comment in the comment section and let's have a discussion. What's your take? Should Liberia continue to work with these people? You know, the lobbying firm, paying them that amount of money annually, or should that money be diverted to another development within the country to support youth empowerment? To support the technical institution that people build the institution, equip the institution that students will go there or young people will go there to acquire a knowledge that or skills that are going to help to contribute towards their life. Or should we continue taking that money and go give it to somebody who just going to talk? It almost like taking that money, the people use that money to support their party. They using the money, like you said, they using that money to support their party. So for me, like you guys been saying, I don't think it's a good idea. So we want to close on the other one because we don't everyone know that support it. And let's just wrap up from this one. You just have 30 seconds, JJ, to just close on it, and then we also have the same to to our comrade Isaac.
Yeah, so Mr. Ballah, to just close on that, that kind of mechanism is necessary for country that are chair from war and they trying to rebuild. You understand? But Liberia has established ground. We have had like over three to four successive elections. You understand? Four successive elections. Yeah, I said, if we continue in that path, you reduce the institution capacity. So that means we will always appoint political patronage to foreign mission because we want them to compensate. We want to compensate them for their reward done during the electoral year, and then we refuse to appoint the people that know how to lobby around Capitol Hill. Let give an instance in this closing. When President Boyka appointed the finance minister, we had an obligation with the Arab Development Bank. That obligation was settled immediately after his appointment. He had meeting with those people, and they come out to an agreement to continue the financing agreement, and then Liberia is committed to paying back their debt. So if you have diplomat like that in the sphere, especially within the US, that know how to navigate its way through, Liberia will get benefit. And again, when we sit at the table, we should not just sit at the table considering ourselves as vulnerable nations. No, we have so many things that USA need. So many things. We have many things that European need. Let me just tell you what this country has done with regards to international organization. I don't know whether this country, Rwanda, is also following that path with hiring lobbying firm, right? But let me speak to the international project. The new law governing international NGOs now. EU cannot bring project and get absolute dominance over it. In fact, they will not even get dominance over it. They gotta sit back and receive report. The new international and local NGO law says if there's an international project to be implemented, you must hire local consultant to do to design a project. Local consultant, all you have to do is maybe you put for the ideas, local consultant design the project, and local consultant implement the project and give you report. There's no need to have international experts to say they coming to have dominance over international project. No way. Like that, it creates avenue for job opportunity. That's why you see now in this country there are too many consultancy firms. That means that local expertise, because they know what happening in the rural communities, they know where the projects are also be implemented, they know how to implement the project, and they know what report to deliver from there. But you get EU, they will come with an expert, they do other things, and they say, oh, Liberia, this other part of the country is totally vulnerable, no school, no thing. It is true. But the way they exaggerate it makes us, it pictures a country to international partner that we have more to be done, and we have not done anything with regards to social human capital development. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Sylvester. Let's go to Isaac. Isaac, let's close on this.
Yeah, the bases have been laid, and it make all look very small actually. So I think our point should be the amount in question. Why such amount? When that very amount can be placed towards something to get something better out of it as compared to what we are spending. But for my research, I noticed like it is not Liberia alone that is in this. Other
Yeah.
countries are into it too. Because I saw Rwanda. I think Rwanda is paying something around 80,000. But then theirs is 80. Then why ours is 100? Those are questions that surrounding the deal. And another thing is with the EU or whosoever that come and monitor those things or bring some projects to us or support the issue of our projects. I think what they do is they do it based on how they see our leaders, right? Take for example Rwanda. Almost all EU projects that come to this country, they do it as JJ was putting there. They themselves, all you need to do is sit back and get a report, and they will implement it to the letter. So I think one thing we lacking is a strong leader, somebody who is very hard headed, can tell EU straight in their face that this is this. Those are things. But then the deal need to be looked at keenly why we paying 100 and other countries are paying 80, 90 during we are time and now. So that's my take on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Because and the thing about our own is just increasing. The previous administration was lesser than now another 100 have added. So what will happen the next the next after 2029? Who knows what will happen? Maybe they might increase. They just feel like we can just rely on these people. But anyway, that's it. That's our own understanding about that. We have given our opinion. Let the public do the judgment. Let the public judge this and then the court. We part of the public. Sometimes these people put out this information for us to read and digest them. understand to see the impact or the implication it's going to have on the country. Because we are young people, Liberia is for us. Liberia is the only country that we can never be deported from. Yeah, or you can be deported from Rwanda to Liberia to your country, but you cannot be deported from your country. So everything that happens in our country is good to be in the best interest of the country that will support nation growth or national building, not to just get something that for political or rally to just post something out for people to see like yes you are working, or it's not really going to benefit the country only because the other person was doing it, so you have to follow the same line. I think we have to look at some of these deals thoroughly and see what benefit it actually going to bring to the country. Then we can actually get involved. Isa, thank you so much. So again, if you are watching this is Screen Vision, we are coming to you live from Kigali, the beautiful city of Rwanda. The city is been seen as the cleanest city in Africa. So and it is true, we've seen it here. So if you have another cleanest city somewhere, maybe you can tell us in the comment section. But for now, Rwanda is the cleanest city in Africa. It's clear people are seeing it all over. So you can just share your thought on some of these things we've been discussing, and we are going now to our next topic. Over the week, we also LDA also gave the quarter report. LDA have been working over the years. Yeah, but what we are seeing now during this administration, or maybe the job started from previous administration, and now this administration, we are seeing some prospects based on the reports that they are giving. They just put out the report, and we saw the quarter, report. So they said over the months they have arrested 233 suspects that are having connection with drugs, and they also seize in cash the money they seize is 1.3 around 1.3 million in cash they have seized so far, looking at the work they have been doing. So let's try to put these suspects. Let's see how many Liberians that were involved into this, because the thing is not only Liberian alone. We also have Sierra Leone, you have Nigerian in it, and you also have Liberia in it as well. So we also need to look at those groups. So the LDA, like I said, 233 suspects were arrested between January and March. Out of that 233 suspects, LDA arrested 193, they were male, and 40 were female. Yeah. So the breakdown relating to where they come from and other things, they have 100 among those people. You have 195 Liberians, 17 Nigerians. You also have 12 Sierra Leoneans and 9 Ghanaians. That Guineans were part of this identical, or stuff that we are talking about over with the work that they have done so far. So these are people. These are the annual report they gave out to the public. And you also the hair also said in Morovia now to see a standing ghetto is difficult. You don't see standing ghetto no more because of the work they have done over time in Morovia. Though people stay in the comment section and say you are lying, there are still ghettos around, but the people said looking at the work they have done so far, there is no standing ghetto in Morovia right now. It was clear. He was on, I think one of the, was that OKFM or something, he was on the radio talking that, and everybody got that. So what's your take on this LDA report, the Liberal Justice Enforcement Agency? Are you seeing prospect or progress in their report, and what they had said concerning the issue about ghetto? Is it realistic? Are you supporting that? Is it truth that you don't see, though we are not living in Morovia or Liberia for now, we out here telling, but if it's there, we're going to see what happening. We can be here, we see what happening in our country. So what's your take on his statement and looking at the report, the progress, the amount of people that were arrested, looking at Liberians dominated. Just imagine the amount of Liberians that were found, 193. Also have Ghanaians, yeah. So that 195 Liberians, not 93, but 195 and 17 Nigerians. And, looking at Sierra Leone carrying 12 and Guinea carrying Why Guinea number here? Guinea got nine persons. So what's your take? Let's start from maybe okay, this time around let's take it from Isaac and we'll go to JJ. You have been following
Yeah,
LDA
thank
work.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So, with the level of work the LD doing, and with that number you just mentioned, it shows that the LDA is working. They are actually working, and it also shows that the amount of people or youth or the percentage of the population we have, involved in the issue of drugs.
Mm.
Now, let's look at another thing that could be the supporting factors. Probably it could be institutional reform, or it could be support, budgetary support. So those are things that we should look at that actually maybe it may be the enhancing force of the LDA work that is, because what happened, like, we had this huge number involved in drugs, or we had all these circumstances going on doing, I don't know, AB Chroma time or whoever were there before him.
Yeah.
And this number was not put up to show that yes, indeed, our LDA were working. Only now we see it. So there should be some reason. If the reason is budgetary support, I think the government need to give them more support. Or if the issue was probably they were not coordinating, then I think there should be more work being done on that. That's my take for now.
Okay, and what they also say, over the past you've been seeing some officers having connection with this drugs activity you listen. I think they arrested or they come out from was that from this place or having connection. They arrested in another country. I think it was in Guinea or Sierra Leone or DA here in that part of Liberia were arrested in another country in connection with. So DA said all those people that the officers that had connection they have been or going through what the law say prosecuting and going to the law will take a course investigating the case. When they are found guilty, yes, they're going to be penalized and something maybe disrobe them, and then if they're supposed to go in jail, they're going to do that. So let's hear you, Sylvester.
Yeah, let me just be brief on that issue. And I must acknowledge the effort made by the LDEA to containing the spread of drugs, illicit drugs in the country. But but they will always require support because those drugs dealers themselves they are also sophisticated. Sophisticated in terms of connection and even fighting back the LDA officers. But I would like to somehow disagree with a portion in the report that says like Iran Monrovia over 200 ghettos. I want to disagree with them. Maybe it can be at the effect of low budgetary support for them to have conduct thorough assessment. Or maybe they just capture those major ghettos. But the ghettos in Liberia, they are more than 200. There are more than 200 in some communities you will find about 20. In some big communities you find about 20 ghettos and you should know how many communities in some of those cities. Moreover, how many communities in Moreover? Pinsville, how many communities in Pinsville? And, for him to say around the country, excluding those counties, I think that's a problem. But to the issue, I think they are doing exceptionally well with communication. And I think that's why more agencies or government agencies should delve into because if you communicate your performance, it creates rooms for the public now to do a thorough investigation on those numbers that you put up instead of doing speculation. Oh, you're not doing anything, you know. So if you say we did this amount of arrests, we raid this community, and now evidence can be seen within some communities, whereby Maybe let's take for Oro Chuba when there was a ghetto in Oro Chuba. Maybe now there's no ghetto in Oro Chuba. That could be an evidence. So communication strategy, I think, is one thing I must commend this new leadership for. That whatever they do, they usually communicate. Those are security matters, but you have to communicate so that you can be a joint effort for the community to help you where those gaps are. Another thing that they mentioned with regards to those arrests and what Mr. Darcy said, it required budgetary support. I saw a news in the Bao community on Ralphie Highway around Seminary. They made an attempt and they burned the ghetto. But you see, most of those guys that were involved, they fled in the swamp. And now they lack the capacity to further pursue those people. So I think more support need to be given to them. And if more support be given to LDA to fight drugs, it should not only be that they allow the drugs enter in the country, then they start fighting it. Like that, it will increase the burden on them. So with the support given, let them try to put mechanisms in place that they fight it at those borders, strengthen border patrol. Like those men that are around the border should, like the way I told you the other time, Mr. Ballah, those people are at the border. Some of them they are hungry. I can remember one time you gave me a story in our personal conversation where there was some guy, the man passed the border with meat, and then they put drugs in that vehicle, and even the man said our own God and there they were afraid to even shoot the gun because the men are coming, the men start firing for the border to start firing fire away from the border to, to de-escalate security presence. That's what they gotta do. Like the men will be around pool other side, maybe fire away from pool other then you fire. Boom! Then maybe those security that on God, they do not have the logistic to retaliate. It becomes a problem, and then you have drugs enter the country. So I
Okay.
think we must be arresting it from the port of entry. Thank you very much.
We should arrest it from the pool of entrance. Maybe don't allow it to enter the country before you start. Say you are applying effort because once there are a lot of effort being made at those various port of entrances, you won't see more drugs in the country. It's going to reduce significantly because it won't enter. That's the first thing. But if you allow it to enter now, people start distributing in various communities. It become problem for you. You have to run. And all those guys have the connection. They may take it from Oro, send it to Banjo, from Banjo, send it to the community. So now you have to start running back and forth, and we are talking about equipment. So there is a need for the government to add their budget up and give them this modern equipment. They need to be armed, and not even some. You cannot be fighting drugs people then you want to something and you don't have an arm. So they need to be well trained as well. You should increase the comes to training authorities. They should also be trained. So all those things will help them to be well equipped. That even if the drugs people see you, and I think the salary need to add up. Like I mentioned the other day here, you also need to add up the main salary. And apart from the salary, there should be other facility that may going to benefit from. Like maybe you say if you there you got two children, government going to support one of your kids to go to school so the burden on or reduce. Every month government going to give 100 or less than 100, but one back already at least. So the little money you're going to have, it could be used for other purposes and other things, and then it helping to have a family. But you cannot be fighting just then you paying the man maybe $150. At the end of the day, the man goes arrest just and then somebody giving 300, 400, 10,000, and you expect the man to allow that money to go. That is going to be serious issue. And these are things that are causing problem in our country. So we hope that those policy makers going to hear all these things that we are talking because like so one of my men asked me the other day, he said, but you're think the discussion you're having on the platform, what kind of impact they're going to make? So I just laugh. I say, how can you say things like that? But anyway, that's your own layman understanding.
Then you
Yeah,
should
so
you should have asked him. You should have asked him a TCC road that he put in a library. How many person going to read it?
hey, not from when I said the main Liberia there, give me a time. So I look at comrade, own thinking as in no comrade lead a lot discussion. Yeah, but all these things we're saying, sometimes policy makers going to listen to radio, they usually listen to radio, read newspapers, and then try to analyze. Because if you really read newspaper or you listen to radio, even if you are a lawmaker, if you go in the house, you will make good laws. Because some of these advices people can be giving on the radio, color call, make this other one. If you taking some of those things into consideration, and then if you are planning, you will know how to plan, and it's going to help the society. So when he was saying that, I just look at him and laugh. But anyway, that is, and we don't really have time, so I don't want us to close to talk that. So you guys can close on it. I just want us to squeeze it one in shortly, and we're going to call this a day. You know, we got information. Maryland from the fire service, like National Fire Service. Uh, 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 Agency there, the Maryland branch, they complain about their office. The office is kind of I wish we were using the paid version. I could project the office so that you can see. I think you saw in the chat room. The office is in that kind of a very bad condition. The even says during rainy season they leave the office because water can enter the entire office. The whole office, the community can get flooded. Just imagine a fire service entity. They don't even have equipment. According to the report, the head said, the commander said that the fire service fire occurred somewhere and they went there. Those people, citizens try to scare them, say, yo, go. Because you don't even have any equipment. What the budget you having, you coming staying here to cause no over, that you coming, where they help? He said he went there. He actually went there to help, but the people are, running behind him. And they are right. Something happened in Spain quite recently. Certain disaster took place. 20 something it took place either last year or something, where the government official went there to talk to the citizen. The citizen, because they beat them up, start to run there and say, you guys are the cause because you didn't put system in place. That why this thing happened to us. And I think they were right. You didn't put system, they got early warning sign. Why you didn't put it in place? Now it happened before you come into us. You say you want to come preach different things. They start to beat them, they run away. So it's a scene. He say the people or something nothing they did to him. So lack of equipment in Maryland County. Look at the fire service office. And look at the amount of work when they say fire, you know what being fire, you know what it takes to fight fire. Do you think the government need to what do you think the government need to do to try to settle this thing? Because I guess it's not only in Maryland alone, in all these various counties. We just looking at Maryland, in the Great Muscle County, they even facing problem, lack of modern trucks and what have you. And for them, they I think they honor justice ministry, but they also have their own stock. Unless for Rwanda, in Rwanda, the fire service under the police. There's a branch in the police, in the police force. They call the fire service brigade or something like that. Those people are there to fight fire. you know. So the under the police, but for all we have our own, we have it like a specific group, yeah, or unit agency that are responsible for that. So now the issue about budget, let's look at it. And how do you think this thing can be put in place, like fighting fire, what government need to do from everyone understand locally complain. The message saying 20, I think say 19, so 2019, yes, he took over in that place. He been crying, sending message, sending letter, appealing, all this one for government to improve the place. But stay, what do you think the cost and what can be done to improve that? Let's try to wrap up on it quick so we can call it a day. We don't have much time again. So if you
So
if you if you shooting if you
can I
shooting
keep
your
it?
shot,
Yeah,
if you shooting your shot, you just shoot it directly and then we call it out. Yeah,
yeah.
JJ,
Let me
let's
do
hear you.
that. Okay,
Okay,
no
you want to
problem.
start?
Jay,
No,
you
you
going
can
first,
start.
right?
You can start.
Yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
I think what we need, what our government or our country need is an entire institutional reform, and not just only the LDA or the fire service. I know everything fall under the Ministry of Justice, but then what we do is we focus more on ourselves than we focus on the institution. It is true that government is going to do a lot of spending in terms of providing mobility for the fire service, even the office alone. Government going to spend more money even on about like reforming the citizen to bring them back, the recreation center to bring them back into the country, or to make them useful as per how much they are losing in the pricing on the amount they're spending on them to keep them there. All of those things, maybe sometimes it is the issues that the government is not looking at. They are just seeing it as though they are more spending than what they are getting. So we need more reform and we need more support. And I think they should even put us around the lawmakers making more money. like the senator was talking about it last time. We need to cut some of those amount down and then focus on institution reform. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's hear you, JJ.
Thank you, Mr. Bara. Sometimes I ask myself, what's the essence of county development fund? Yeah. What's the essence of county development fund? You say county development. So I think the superintendent in that county should also, because the superintendent is under the executive, because it fall under local government. You understand? So if the executive cannot directly make provision, because you see, government budget is always constrained. Government has a lot of priorities, you understand, that they have to make allocation for one step at a time. I'm not doubting, I'm not saying it is wrong. But sometimes the institution that is being erected to carry on public service delivery with regards to the fire service, they are being absolutely neglected. And then a county development fund can be used to build different things far away from what's supposed to be done. You find in some county they say, oh, the county development fund, okay, we'll do X, Y, we'll do the town hall. Does town hall deliver service? I'm not saying it's wrong. They say, okay, we'll use the county development fund, maybe and send some student abroad. Well and good. But what needs now? You send student abroad, the community is burning. You expect that man to move from China to come? No, it doesn't work that way. County, this is one thing that is suffering our development trajectory. Let me be blunt. The executive will come up with ARD, right? It will come up with ARD, but the county's strategic development should align with ARD. And there where the problem comes from. There are too many politics in the counties that you will find out that they will just talk politics and there will not be a set agenda for the county. Like take for example, even this country that we're in, because we love to make comparison. They get something they call like the NST2, NST1, that now the NST2 that is not in effect. But you know what complement that NST2? DDS, District Development Strategy. So of all the 30 districts, they have development strategy. And let's assume, let's say maybe 5 districts in this province, as an assumption, that province has a strategy that align with the district development strategy that also align with NST2, National Strategy for Transformation. So in that regard, if the country has a set strategy that this year or for this presidential term, we must strengthen at least two service delivery sector, health or education, or let's say tourism or fire service agency or the security as a whole. There should be a set agenda. Now you will have development fund that will come, then conscious manner. I'm very trust
Okay, we don't have much time in
I'm
order to
coming.
close.
Conscious manner politician now will say, okay, let's use this amount allocated to this department to look at the building in a
Yeah, I feel that.
deplorable condition. How do you expect that building to even fight fire? I was even joking with one of my colleagues the other day. You checking that building as well before they fire? They don't even have fire extinguisher. Thank you very much. So I think we need to revolve around how we effectively use county development fund that is intended
Okay.
to develop the country. Thank you very much.
Okay, so thank you. Let me just lay my own piece on this. I think they come a lot there to need to, because even you won't tell me to pin the billing, or you guys can just put certain mechanism in place to pin the billing. The funds should come from government. If there is no funds to just to pin that billing, even if you go around to some of those stores, stock help thing, or your helpers going to pin that billing, don't you think the people going to come to contribute? You should think out of the box as a leader. We are looking at the equipment, other thing, but your own billing alone, you can't even pin your billing only because government has send money for you to buy pin, and you are a leader. You won't tell me you guys can lob it around to get some and two, three, six bucket of pin to pin that billing? in that Maryland, talking about, how many businesses there, how many stores there, like you can talk to these people. So I think sometimes the leadership too, it matters. If you are a leader, you need to think out of the box. We shouldn't, because government got a lot of weight. It's not easy on government. So that's just what I wanted to say, that the commander there should think out of the box. You guys need to work. Forget about, oh, we agree government already sending those support there. But even your billing, man, your billing, you can't even pin the billing. Then how now? So even when government come in wash that, not government washing about, because they see government doing everything, not separate entity. But if government come in, at least you yourself too, you should be able to work towards something. Even if government not do it, tell your salary, say my man, the other salary where you can not money bring $10. If you can't do it, you keep it. Another money, I say, for I know someone I went to your middle or Latin, at least to give your office a facelift. Because people see yourself or respect your small. But look at the whole office, because government not say anything now, so it's just like that. I don't think it's a good thing. So again, we want to say thank you so much for joining us every time on this show. On Sunday, you got your own busy schedule, but sometimes you take time to follow our show. We want to say thank you so much. So just 30 seconds. Let's just wrap up your closing statement, and then we'll call it your day. We start from you, JJ. Just 30 seconds, and then I'll wrap up.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Bara, and thank you to our listeners who patiently follow the show until we exhausted all of those topics. And thank you to our newest panelist on the block, the loyal Malika, my friend. And it was a great conversation. At least we were able to exhaust all of our talking point. And one thing I would like to draw as I conclude, that there are things that we know that is not in the interest of the country. We should collectively stand against it and pull our government feet to the fire, despite some of us being from the establishment. But where we
Okay.
see, we should point out wrong. So, thank you, Mr. Bala, and it's nice having this conversation. I look forward to next Sunday to know how we can revolve
Thank you.
around the new development. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's hear you, Isaac.
Thank you so much, Chief, and thank you to my brother JJ. You know, when I was coming, I'd be like, what am I going to say? I'm not used to this thing, but I'm so happy that I'm part of the process. And as time go back, maybe I will get more adjusted and will go more deeper as compared to today. And I'm happy to those who've been following the platform. Sometimes you are tired, but at least so now you say, let me just listen to them today and hear what they get to say. Yeah. So that's the issue of asking you the guy talk about your show. You can have people can really follow it. He teases, he put in the library. He hope that people will go there, but he just put it there. So one day we hope that you will listen to us and you will continue to hear the best from us. Thank you so much. And thank you to the team.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Isaac. The entire Screen Vision family want to say thank you for being part of the family, for joining us. As a young people, we need to discuss national issue, because at the end of the day tomorrow, everyone know that one way or other going to become a leader. And what these people are doing, we say, we guys say, they say sustainable development. That the development should be done in a way that it will not compromise the ability for future generation to benefit. So it means that those people who are already in power, they need to put all those mechanisms in place that will continue to sustain the country, so that we too, when we get in power, we're going to benefit and support the country, and we also prepare for the future generation. Don't spoil the country for us. So we will always come here to discuss a national issue, and I want to say thanks to you guys for always joining. We have our busy schedule steady, but we're always here. So again, to our listeners, thank you so much for joining us. This is Screen Vision. Please share our show. Follow us also on YouTube. We usually be, on Facebook every Sunday on YouTube. So we live on Facebook right now and on YouTube. So you can also go on YouTube to follow our page, and also share with some of your friends and family out of your within your community, so that they too can form part of the conversation. Even if you can say something, just say thank you to you guys. You can read, give your little comment, because the issue about this show is not everybody that will read, and that can read some of these things. So if somebody have a show and then the people start to discuss it, for now we're talking about the amount that government going to pay. There are some people not even aware of it. Maybe through going, scrolling, going on Facebook, say, oh, but that is how much money government going to pay. Maybe you want to deep, in the report, you can also go check it out. So that's why in the area to have that kind of a conversation. So again, I want to say thanks to you guys for joining us, Sylvester and Isaac. I see you guys next Sunday. And yeah, I see you guys next Sunday. Bye bye. Y'all can go now to go do your normal thing. So thank
Thank
you,
you.
folks. If you are watching, my name is Titus V. Ballah. I want to say thanks to you again for always following us. And this is your home. It is because of you we are here. And if you will not be watching us, if you will not share your prospect on what we've been discussing, your ideas, I don't think we're going to go somewhere. So we want to say thank you again for always putting hands around us, our platform. Together we can make the platform a better one. So if you're out there and you are male or female, you want to form part of the organization. You want to give your own ideas on some of the things, your opinion. It's good because like if you engage yourself in a kind of a discussion as a young person, you also build your own understanding. When you and a bit of your intellectual capacity or understanding because you always discuss it. Every time you come to discuss, you're going to do research. So it means that every day you're learning new thing. Every day you discuss, you're going to do research. So every day you're going to learn new things. So if you find yourself in certain discussion, that's why you can see some people, if they stand somewhere they're ready to speak, people be like, but who is this guy? Because he's reeling. He's reeling. He's engaging different things. He's reeling. So that's why I've been giving information. You see the man talking with confidence because he read on something and he's giving information. And that's what I want for all young people to do. So again, we want to say thanks and do have yourself a very, very good night. Bye bye from my end.